holds me back from my center, striving or a need to myself paint a picture. All I truly need is nonfiction, to learn the lessons, to not flee but instead cool heated kitchens, to not get caught up in what I'm pitching, sometimes just listen. I'm finding splinters as I ask where and when they are from. Why do they now come to my surface? I must pluck them and then repurpose. I'm excited, not nervous. I'm imprinted by precursors, by my own cursive. Express and release. Yet give space, cause it wasn't just me who was seized. I hold the present moment and in the knowing of its value. Sense jasmine like a flower that blooms at night. I can shrink right into myself as the sun shows, as if I'm suddenly afraid or ashamed of my own shadow. The witching hour allows for purifying battles, so I'm nothing but thankful. I can wait for an oasis, I can taste liberation from my damage and also then what replaces it. I've reached the final stages of it. It's just scar tissue with the shapes of things that once hemmed me in to tailor fit again and again. All those outfits are down to the very last thread, and I am sleeping in a different bed. A river of light now runs through what was desert and dead, or heavy as lead, and I am an old soul. I am big and bold, yet still fragile and little, and sometimes hard to hold or hold on to, cause spiritually I'm like a rolling stone. I am my home, and without effortless equality I'm always moving right along, healing, burning through a song or sonnet or other process or crystals in my palms. I have mantras, not mottos. I can't tell tomatoes from tomatoes, don't know what to call it or if I'll be back to normal 2 days from now or tomorrow. Certainly no longer making many a mountain from this molehill. I'm like a fountain born of a drizzle. I expand when I whittle, but also become quickly brittle. Far from simple, no matter how damn little. I can go from pleated to wrinkled, from grounded to a sinkhole. Think small, I'm starting to understand this wall. I'm like an all, and then I can only crawl. Come on, just let me fall, and I'll dance to liberation. If I am a warrior and I am, then why do I feel so inferior? All because I am so sensitive. I'll leave without proper provocation to an unknown location in my inflated thoughts, my fears, my spatial arrears. Let me look at this mirror, I'm unclear. Is it me or am I doing just fine with no desire to rewind? I feel I'm doing alright. My own well is not my guiding light. I'm holding tight, solaces in near sight is hardened, but I'm never fully hardened. I'm a bruised banana, not a bearing garden or a field of the daringly departed. If I abuse sparingly, I'll survive the audit. I'll be by August or autumn, or hopefully long before then. When my growth feels explosive, I let go my past experiences, especially the most corrosive. I'm hopeful and focused and so devoted to come to know this inner battle as history. This whisper of hysteria was never meant to scare you away, or with this blistered heart or bitter pills of yesterdays. I honor the learning and I embrace the change of a new day. Not quite out of the woods, all would be damned if they fallen into the creeks or deep crevices. Leaves have been leaving them, I walk through them. Wait, you're calling and I'm back to us again. Thrust back to be crushed again or crushed again. Temper, just catch me lumber, juxtaposition. I am under a no polar spectrum dead. I know the way out now, just listen. My skin no longer thin and sore now. It's not even winter now. That emotional trap of a season and this sad excuse for a reason to stop living, man. When things get messy up and do be reborn rather than before, to settle old scars and old scores with love and patience, not wars. Silent battles, snakes and grass rattles me under my feet. Clean riches like shattered until again I am complete and gathered. Enjoying the heat of the bright light of day to reach me at night. Will be should sleep well, the thrill will be cheap, but almost too rich to not just let you see me. You have this pull on me, like the moon pulls on the ocean, causing currents. My heart finally can swim again. You may be fishing me just before and will throw me back in again after. I may be wishing you wanted to be more sort of support mutually, and we come back around now and again. Sooner or later, damn you, what a wave breaker. My mind flies far and fast like a rocket. Your heart rolls so careful like a boat floating by knots, not along my body of water that's rarely if ever far beyond my memories. Water crashes you once more back onto me. Let's just see. Oh, you terrible terror. Oh, me emotional scarecrow. Oh, is he angel or ego? Oh dear, I'm so fearful of knowing anything. I must understand everything. The grain of sand becomes a beach in my mind, with water and others in summer and an atomistic universe. Yet the reverse offers me comfort. I'm a convertible, but don't blow my cover. I am only one lover, only one piece of my whole mother. Underneath me is a something of self-perfect. I am above it, somehow not beyond it. No beneath it, I can make my teeth a mile crown if I believe I need it. Am I conceived or conceived defeated? Please tell me, I sure can't tell. My tongue swells to stop my words from piercing my pen, my friend, permanently inking for my productive clearings and Dr. Charles didn't believe what I'm hearing. I should seeking angel's beauty, unless the proof is in the pudding. Always the truth is just so soothing. This kissing booth is closing before my grand opening. Standing alone is not freedom, but it's safety. Ranting to no one is not completely like erasing me. I've retraced my steps to run from what is chasing me. I am glass on the stones like stone, healing me. Am I a rock or a paperweight? No, it is at my planet in my inner space. So thought I meditate. Is it my Milky Way that I lactose intolerant? Not so lassoed. I tend to hesitate, and so although I'm not always a candidate, too damn to evaporate. Saturated, I contemplate, condemned to concentrate, and damned if I consummate. Damn, I am so complicated.
Woo!
Thanks, Julie. Okay,
Don't
thank
get on
you.
the stage. Stay down. Don't get on the stage.
Okay, so this next one is a story about a complicated love relationship between a snapping turtle and a cicada nymph.
Okay.
In the woods, a snapping turtle and a little creature underground come out, synchronized after both being down and deeply inside. So as chance would have it, their paths did collide. Both at the time were due to open woundedness, aligned, and both bonded and obliged, pulled by his ties, tucked away by his side. Her presence confided when he was of a mind to try. After failure, weather is changing, and here on the ground, a panic spins up a dust cloud of doubts. He's shrouded in now. How timely, he ducked under that cloak. His domed temple called home. He's dry, she's soaked. He's in the cup, she's on a broken boat, and she was scared wet. How could they forget? She sought shelter inside with him, and he suggests instead, perhaps a tent. And yet, they then later had a litter of brittle iterations. It was a bad batch, a bunch of short-lit matches. Burned the mattress, fire than ice, bitter than nice. I mean, it warms, then burns, then cold shoulders return and fold before his face. Warm, she's almost ashes inside, so at least her lashes can finally dry. Until next time. She honors upon her departure. If she stays where she doesn't belong, she'll harden in her shell and she'll never share her song. Her limbs, ball and sockets, all dislocated by her ball and chain, her pocket watch and locket. If she's ever gonna grow, she knows she's gotta let it go. But then again, when above ground is thawing out and an urge to reemerge is again dawning, all along she sent tokens of longing, affection and prayer for his protection. And finally, with his eye peering down her canal, he says, it's okay, you can come out now. Slow by nature, it's often time for fasting her. Before she bucked, he'd steer then flee, leaving her to be disappeared. She asked, explain that, cause it just doesn't fit in my ears. When I'm banished after cheers of endearment, then he must not fancy being revered, or it's the fantasy he feared. Slamming the door in her face like a guillotine, he becomes a rock to bounce her back like a trampoline. Last time she's a boomerang, now that this here is a different scene. Dressed to his nines with shoes tied to the crime, caught by the smooth sole inside. Gotta fit those claws inside, right? She pondered at him. For a turtle, you sure are fawning hard. See, darling, face it, we were Harold and Maude. True story, more emotions over a fraudulent heart, acting out duplicitous charm, and I noticed that we belong. Apart, we're caught in a six of sticks or tangled branches. Boiling blood, our best chance blanches. Hopeful romantics under garland vines and firefly lanterns. But these horseshoes rusted, promises suffered combustion, and I prefer justice, not revenge. And justice is accountability at best. I need closure, not fixative, to not feel disconflicted. Oh, reptilian depicted. What was your real name again? I know you're thick, short for vindictive, not richer. And once again we bring wasted grace upon our backs, and mornings like upon our laps. The honeymoon came only after it's over. Ain't that so backwards? But this time their tree had died, and after a little while up it fell to its side. Now this tree doesn't feed on the sun and the rain, and its roots are not sufficient for a little one to sustain. She must move on and transform, not so what's torn, be both reborn. And even though only he surrounds himself now. When the right one comes along, he will make space inside that shell. I think it's safe to say that they know now, if they're ever gonna grow, they know they're gonna have to let it go. Okay. This next song, Hey Warthog, What's Eating You, is it's about the mutualistic relationship between warthogs and banded mongooses. So this kind of describes what each of them are like, kind of highlighting how amazing it is they can work together, and that kind of just makes me feel like, we do better. So this is a story about that. In sub-Saharan Africa, many alone, so solitary and wild bachelor go roaming their home, from woodlands to grasslands through savannas. Same lands as some banded bandits, humming cat-like carnivores in large numbers. What will happen if their paths are soon to bear crosses? That hog, peppered in beauty-marked warts, he's sharp, especially his lower tusks are like blades, nothing to mess with and set beneath semicircled uppers that their snout partly covers. That hog is surely not my lover. And not far away, a band plays of banded mongooses, almost 30 in the group. They strongly believe families should stick together, and neighborly turf wars are often deadly, or over territory as a decoy, a ploy to get pregnant. Hold on, I'll explain it. These maiming mommies instigate battle, these names at the top not afraid of fatalities, or bloody male counterpart buddies as a ruse to get to others' honey. Each crew has a brute broad at the helm. She starts a brawl, some girls sneak off, meeting for a mating, sounds degrading, but how else can she prevent inbred-related genetic deterioration? All the girls spring pups, and in fact it's a group thing, together breeding in synchrony, and after the war is a purring symphony. But 10% of babies are born of immediate family. See, these elitists need these scuffles to slow the weakening through intergroup migration for more diverse coupling. They're only swapping posses and gang fights to survive, albeit troubling. Love bites, it isn't fair. The exploitative nature of a role in their own betrayal. But alas, the herd longevity is spared. Meanwhile, the aloof playboy warthogs are simply linking with chicks to mate and dip. Wham bam, thank you, miss. She'll raise their young on her own, but once knocked up again, those kids are gone. She'll chase her babies away, kick them to the curb with orders not to return. No wonder the boys grow and stay on their own, learning early on. If you can't trust your mom, you really can't trust no one. So they say, girl, just give me that sugar and I'm gone. And on and on. Mom goes into isolation, thinking, a moment to myself would be nice, a slice of quiet, but then, water breaking the silence, the new litter is born to Mom's M.O., none the wiser. The evicted children roam and find a lone female to follow along, till biting the bullet to go it alone. Knowing Mom curls and nurses at home. Grown-ups chow down, almost bowing on bended knees, hairy and calloused, padded for this practice, eating short grasses in his little reading glasses. His snout snorting about the ground here in this wet season. Oh, no, he's not sneezing. That's an earthworm he's eating. Minding his beeswax while itching to high heavens. These ticks are relentless heathens. He hears a voice from a short distance. Hey Warthog, what's eating you? I don't have that swine fever for you or nothing, and we're not buds, but those bugs are looking scrumptious, and I don't mind if I do. Warthog thinks, dang, this is brutal, but I have to trust this mongoose pact to a pact of mutualism. I mean, in his own words, he's thinking it. He lays on his fatless back and bristles, mongoose whistles. Y'all come and get this. Warthog subsides. I guess it's like aardvark, digging holes that I sleep in, except aardvark isn't there then. But we're here now, under 22 mongoose, so let the grooming begin. This spit shine is an alliance of an intimate kind, my friends. Like the remorse fish nipping parasites off sharks' behinds in the lands of Poseidon. My community needs to try this. The animals in observation are in elation, just imagining the ways and critters who can serve themselves and each other in an undivided nation. Those mongoose are violent scrappers who are too faithful to their families and not enough to their partners, yet reproduce in unison like no matter how many hearts and bones will, their bonds won't won't break, nor bend backwards. Then the warthog, our tough bitter dude, barely stopping by but enough to knock her boots. The woman abandoned, raising children alone, turning around to kick her kids out for some me time between whip stitching, wild oats sown, and before the next litter is born. Barbaric and scorned, and could stomp a mongoose out for far less than food, yet here they go, immense trust and benefit put to both. The warthog pushes them off as he grunts, enough, and the mongooses flee, all with full bellies. Warthog relaxed and dapper, all the creature onlookers scatter, running home to share how this can be a pattern. Some of the most moving parts are our differences. We're not separate units, but separate parts of one. And we would have never thought that those beasts and those scrappy sneaks could interact in peace. Yet, oh, how far they've come. We must be misjudging so much about each other. And like Giraffe said, you don't know what you don't know, so don't be afraid to ask. Not everyone is safe to serve, and not every group will adhere to decent terms, but our world will really change for good when we see we are one, and the blessings of our connections will flood. Thank you. So this is Alex in Wonderland who's making and then improvising these beats, so I'm so lucky. And I'm Kate B. Penbleeds. Up here I am. So this is called Jesse Duplantis, right? And this is about a televangelist that's been around way too long. He has a testimony about going to heaven in a cable car in 1988, and so I'm kind of telling his story based on the 2-hour testimony that I listened to. So yeah. Jesse Duplantis, blatant scamming antics and bruise of his divinity, his purity and Mary virginity. So now God seeks Jesse. What shall I do for thee? Well, let's see. See past the sowing a bad seed. It was 1988, but he still testifies without hesitating. Jesse left a steaming pile of breakfast, abruptly had to head back to the Best Western, summoned by something commanding. With the book on his chest, he fell quick into rest fasting, blasted through the roof into a cable car with an Aryan angel too. Once there, here came a thick old barrel-chested brawny man. The man was his dad, Abraham. So pleased to greet this earthly fool who looks around at property values so astounding and whom it's destined unto. Jesse asked about his own heavenly palace. Is it something he'll be proud of? Abe, tell the truth now. The ground, flowers can't be withered there. So he goes stomping through their beds. The flowers turned their heads. He said he'll never forget the people sniffing leaves as long as he lived, but he don't quite recall all that Abraham had said. Up there, they wear their class by their gown of salvation or righteous robe, just so you know. So anyway, they began screaming, he's coming, repeating it. As the perfume of Jesus wafts, he walks up from a dazzling city. He all glitzy in his sash of gold with 1,000,000,000 diamonds embedded. His face was hidden behind that glow, but his glory was exposed, overwhelmingly so. Jesse says yes. Y'all want to know Jesus' aesthetic? He continues, but that's hard. You never get it. I could tell you in tongues, yeah, but you never get it. Damn it. Well, it's just glory, pouring, luminous, blinding light. He had brownish hair and he was brilliantly bright. He was truly a sight if I'm remembering right. And God said, I brought you here, Jesse, so you'll tell my people I'm coming. And Jesse, smart Alec, talks back like, duh, God, they already know that. And God exclaims, Jesus' worst day is yet to come. It's important that you have enough Harleys and cash from earth to kingdom come. 2 ways for you to travel back in case you want to come alone. Next, Jesus pointed to David like, hey Dave, take our buddy to me and hear the rejoicing voices of aborted and miscarried babies whose souls I saved. Aren't they so great? Then little souls in little gowns gather round God on his throne. They emerge from the power, the smoking gunpowder. Oh Father, make me a spirit. He exhaled, which impaled them into a body to wear. Did it all from his chair. Jesse admits to asking dumb questions while there, like, where is the Holy Spirit and what's the Trinity for real? He couldn't look at God without fuel from his palms from above to restore, then catch his breath, enough to ask of the angels, are they not bored? Then short Paul came up to Jesse tall and asked, say friend, what do they make of my gospel? And maybe, who is the hottest apostle? Jesse told him, Paul, it's good stuff, I promise. And so he went on mocking the hell out of heaven and his greedy corruption, disgusting. Over compensation for doubt, he's proud to say, yeah, I saw the roads of gold and pearly gates, but I put the people above them. Ooh, Lord, am I something? And another correction he bestowed is that heaven is bustling busy, not a peaceful place of holy beauty. There must be no time in eternity. This honorary disciple sees Jonah on his mission. Jonah stopped a moment to listen. Then back on earth he tells of the riches, the miswritten, and the matter of time running out. But with enough dough, you'll see the heavenly dry ice on gemstone roads. It's not a bad place to go. So that's the testimony as I know it. And even though I don't want to ask donations, God told me I have to charge for every slice of my bologna. So souls you owe me. Okay, this is a little bit more of like a personal, whatever. It's called mirroring. What isn't it? Unparalleled reassurance, straight to boredom. Copy the hubris of this bluish comedian. And I'm not kidding, man. Just confused royally. The rejection of indifference roiling me in waves. My sense of my own projection toying with me. How the heck am I so stone cold single on my own son when I only dissect the lightest of hearts and couldn't shack up the fiber down to one shingle? I'm a Monet, plain and simple. I don't mingle. I just love or shut down, and I self-ridicule, cause from my safe distance I'm minuscule, and I don't notice you, no matter how hard you try me to. Then suddenly you slowly unraveled my chainmail of one very long thread, and at once flipped my switch, and I'm a flattered Spanish bull, and you're turning red, like the flags of my matador. I'm a silly ghoul, I seek my reflection to question, and I just see a fool. Painful revelations are my tradition pre-Yule. I'm so damn valuable and perceptive when it's poured into you, and you, and you, and you. Role reversal was proof that I'm deserving of being heard and seen really well too. You've been standing awake and patient like a king's guard awaiting intel on the color of my part. Now my eyes literally just open, and your trigger fingers pushing on the snooze bar you're holding. I ask you at attendance and finally see the backs of the shoes you're in, and exhausted your car. Seriously, what did I do and when? Or is it more about you? My feelings like anvils, I couldn't sidestep the truth. One could find my mere questions uncouth. But it's like I worked and saved for a car, and within inside the lot I just bought her and we smashed, and I have no insurance to recoup with, dang it. And it was just the very next thing I was gonna do. But thank God there was no such accident, and I get full coverage just on liability and decent action. So you ask, perhaps as I stare at your back, so what then was that? That brief but incredible lapse. And if my standards have holes poked, then I'm sorry to laugh, but my standards are a joke. Would I have truly bended the golden rule? I went to ask my reflection, but again, just met a fool. There's a cold war of roses, and I've got a thorn in my own home, I supposes. Prickling into this pickle, I'm too frozen and fickle for so much cozy. Hey, save the worship for churches. Clutching purse strings, don't want to pay off karmic curses. We were just in stitches, then momentarily tempted to taste something delicious. As you witches, oops, I meant witness, no, I mean wished it. The whole thing's been strictly intellectual. Years ago it was different though. I haven't hit a lick or heck unpacked this go. The strategy, the tragedy, in the throes of pillow talk, yet I'll have no one be betting me, and less regretting me. I'm the only man for the job, however unsettling. This is so me, this unease, being swollen, alone in it, can't feel my emotions, only logic in my tool chest, mathematically measuring what's unfolding next. What's happening? I am so clear, yet so baffling, and if I disappear, they'll come after me, and if I show what's hidden in here, they'll be plastering and yawning. Oh, excuse me, my brother's calling. just below watching us, hissing, no. The only matter is these guys are alike a lot. Slow the churn to stir the pot. Dare I steer queer and see if my blindfold gets lost? I fear the cost of being wrong. I'm not malingering at all. I'm the poor fellow Murphy's Law is fingering y'all, and the same rule I live by till now I learn I hardly even know the guy. What can go wrong will? I at least put my own spin on it. He's unrecognizable if I think about it. I haunt myself so much with the unresolved. Speaking in double Dutch, my lines get crossed. Sitting pretty in this fur-coated dust. Just a blush of rust hushed by a thrush in the throat of the one I trusted enough is enough. And the system is sus, my bosom is a bust. Under cold sky, hazard lights look like fireflies. In sheets of storm rain, caution and solidarity. I'm quiet. I felt the sound right. The thunder cracks furious, memories do falling. Till I'm taking feeling for fact and stalling. I'm a binger, and you perjure yourself. No one wins here. Whose eyes wear no wool? I went to my reflection to seek me, but all I saw was this fool. Thank you. Okay, so we have two more. No worries, we're back to animals. This one is about bees, and I was fascinated learning about them. I knew they were really non-stop workers, but I didn't know about all their specific jobs, and then the fact they communicate through dance. I was like, wow. So this is kind of about, little bees. Yeah? Begin at the start, and then get into harsh parts of this buzzing co-op. Plus, lastly, the fuzzy sock hops of these honeybees, native to Eurasia till the 17th century. Studies have since illuminated and proven some remarkable traits to ruminate, like the way and why that they congregate. 80% of flowers are pollinated by these bees who forage, plus 3/4 of fruits, nuts, and more that their service affords us. Sincerely, bees, thank you. Say, here's a hive we can enter by our mind's eyes to observe respectfully the hierarchy inside. Ah yes, as expected, one queen, never more. Big little Victoria, about 1 year per, so I guess short-lived her. Classically, there's a massive team of worker bees, all she and created to serve, with only one drone to 100 girls, and none of the boys carry any of the workload. How cool. Drones are grown for one thing only, not to guard nor harvest honey. Bros are to go mate with the honeycomb crone, our queen on her single 2-day outing, her one and only spring. About 30 to get the job done, and her majesty returns knocked up. Do her praises they sing? Perhaps both proud and sore, Artomatic, destined recluse of royalty for sure. In service, laborious, laying 1,500 eggs a day. That ain't so glorious, but hey, girl, slay. Victoria became queen simply by being laid in the cell designated to receive the royal jelly packed with nutritious wealth. Only the best for Victoria's larval little belly. All the other girls then modify their ovipositors. Egg droppers turn stingers when decidedly not the chosen one to bear a bajillion children. So fun. Speaking of, should something happen to take down the queen, their household becomes a delinquent scene, doing bare minimum to function like undisciplined teens in need of direction and meaning. Then these worker bees will raise a new virgin queen in a fertilized egg in a cell fit to receive Queen Victoria's secret, straight from the crowns of her people. And she's made to be the mother, not the ruler. Drones not raised to be men, more like handsome pool boys instead. And they can't feed themselves or sting to protect, while girls are put right to work with no time to fantasize about choice or rest. You've got the nurses serving brood rearing purpose, and the attendants who groom and feed the queen as she repeats and repeats her circuit. There's maids handling debris and other housekeeping, and ones that hairdress and polish, the ones that forage like they're like NASCAR pit stop trimmers zipping down the line of disheveled worker bees. The repair crews use propolis to cover cracks in large masses in and on their metropolis. And I think this pretty much sums up the jobs of this populace. And they transcend their plight of deafness and being nonverbal because their communication is hard to believe. Using dance to make requests or pass a word around the circle. First, hard workers need to be cleaned, and to say so, they shake their body and stomp their feet. alarm dams can be alerted, for health crisis averted. There's contaminated food to be deserted, so bees will vibrate vigorous, running zigzag into spiral circles, hurrying first, gotta remove the contaminant, and next work extra to skirt a famine, damn it. Then, when a large load of nectar arrives, the bees strut leisurely through the hive on trembling leggies, a whittle wiggle to sign that dinner is a sweet being provided. The tremble is a shake when time is of the essence. They'll shudder for each recruit to follow suit to the blessing, returning with noses powdered in pollen, found at the heart of a flower, at that fleeting source of their golden power. The dance says just the bee's knees is the waggle, precise instruction to a sophisticated gaggle. The scout returns, elated and engorged, passing out nectar from afar with gorgeous forage. Once she has their attention, she shapes a sickle through a circle, showing direction. Running speed indicates its distance, intensity depicts equality and quantity in each instance. And after the gold mine tackle, with packed pollen baskets, they all and full honey sacks, they all head back, hopefully to feast and relax and party. But the bees' work is never done, nor the gifts of their systems imparted. And sincerely, bees, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have one more, and I don't know if Arimathea, if you feel like, walking around with William Water Bear or Millie Moss Piglet, be my guest, but this is about tardigrades, water bears. I don't know if anyone knows of them, but they're like a micro animal and amazing, but I won't say too much because this is gonna, Thank you. Little William Water Bear, in search of his mate, who is see-through yet unclear. Oh, Miss Millie, Moss Piggy, I know you're out there. He goes asking around, the portrait of his gal, hoping someone will say, yeah, I seen her around. Oh, my dear's depiction, let's see. She's a teeny weeny, lumpy, stumpy honey bun. Like me, she's open cloaked, full disclosure, transparent microfolk. She's got nothing to hide inside of her birthday suit she molts, multitasking to shed and poop. That's right, she just robes her coat while releasing precious stones. She's boneless, but has many a curved appendage. 4 chitin claws per perfect paw, calcified crab shell but fancy-footed all in all. Her limp legs and back and on backwards flow like the train of a gown, until they come in handy, a dangling upside down. On her purty face a pursed pipette, that puckered little pumpkin. Aw, shucks, that babe's my dumpling, and she is so strong for one thing. Huge threats, no bother. For example, the pond monster. She just walks along it. That brown hydra, looking like a deadly anaconda, and no drama. She goes with the flow or frozeness, withstanding negative 272 degrees Celsius. She's the most resilient in the universe, tough enough for 1,000 times a human's fatal dose of radiation. Plus, when water boils her, she endures with patience. Then, like the world is on her darling shoulders, the pressure of 6,000 atmospheres won't fold her. She, or I should say, we can drop down to 3% hydration. Then we become a ton, not in weight but in phase. Knowingly she'll waste away and become like a stunned potato bug in a sugar glass case. Hardened and sweetened to taste, but she just waits and waits in a mummified state where she may remain for thousands of days, maybe a decade. Amazingly, with 97% water loss, a simple spritz ends this cryptobiosis, and she'll just fill her up and walk it off, back to a plump aquatic little bugger, a bad little mother, and I've missed Miss Moss the mostest. Oh, Millie, loved at first sight, but she had already left when I met her, and I don't boast this. It was merely a figment of my fine piglet. Even her crystal turds are genuine. After munching and sipping on diatoms, lunches of microalgae silica, which leads to quartz, plus aragonite and chlorella, of course. Moving through her see-through parts, she is what she eats, and my queen, she eats sparkles. Okay, Okay, so I suppose that her story goes that she eventually chose to bear offspring. I'd seen her floating with what looked like belly stones, but upon looking close, it was a cuticle sheath in one piece, guarding eggs, protecting them a bit falsely. I approached proper. I knew what I offer, and also just what it could cost me. I may never find my Millie, and she may never find she's lost me. Parthenogenic, she don't exactly need me. But gosh, let me stop, I'm really going on. So yes, we had some time alone, about an hour. Well, not Millie really, but her old outer. I crossed my claws that our spawn are safe to thrive after all. In this molted shell that I must tell you held her likeness well. A couple weeks passed, and when my back, all of our babies had hatched. And ever since then, I've been in search of my match. Where is my little Millie at? Where is my little Millie at? But just then, someone said she had been drafted as one of NASA's little astronauts, given the honor of Micro Space Force, whether asked or asking or not. A half moon ago, the traveling tardies ventured home. So yeah, Millie was there, and I recall I thought I saw her looking awfully small, but I didn't read her as distraught at all. Which way? Yelped William. Promptly he seized his delicate warrior in anoxybiosis. She was back from space, but out of air, though he's not afraid of her prognosis. William blows her a kiss with a puff between little styletted lips. Within a second, she's fully present. William Waterbear, Millie Moss Piglet, they just clicked and hitched, and their one cell per eyeball all saw quick, here, this here is it. And he cries, Millie mio tardigrada, Millie, oh William, mein kleiner Wasserbär. And for the rest of their years, it was happily ever from there. The end. Thank you, Alex and Wonderland. Yeah.
How come you're going to be back next weekend?
Oh, that's true. I'm gonna come back next Sunday, same time, same stage, and just doing the educational science-based love stories exclusively. Yeah, thank you, Catherine. Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
That was cool.